Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, Earthlings, wherever you may be on planet Earth. It's us again. I'm quite tired today, actually, aren't you?
Yes, it's been very overcast and grey today, and a bit of rain.
It's been a nice cool day, so I've got my kimono is reversible, so I've got the black side out, for obvious reasons, of course.
Yes.
We were talking today, well, I think I'm tired because I had to cover the crew on the dolphin boat today. And it's amazing how it takes it out of you if you haven't been on the boat for a week or two.
It takes it out of you when you have been on the boat.
No, but I get used to it. If I'm doing it all the time, it doesn't really, I don't notice it. But if I'm doing a different type of work, or I'm into something else and I don't go out on the boat, and then I suddenly go out on the boat, it absolutely drains me. This must be how the passengers feel after every trip, because they're not used to it.
I suppose so.
And it was a flat sea, and hundreds of dolphins, hundreds, flying fish, tuna, Bertle, our resident bottlenose dolphin.
Yes. And I'll take this moment to tell someone who's not my sponsor, Hobgoblin. It's a great improvement on the beer I was drinking yesterday.
I tell you what, any sponsor would be horrified that the camera's back to front and that their logo...
Yes. Well, one day they'll invent a phone that can flip it to right. You've got to put it into the editing suite and flip
I'd like
it
to sponsor water.
Water.
With a touch of rosé, which is what I drink. It's just,
I want to copyright water so they can't make hydrogen out of it without paying me.
I'm going to copyright
Meghan
oxygen.
Markle, I'm going to trademark water. It's mine.
We were talking this morning, weren't we, about the seriousness of elder abuse.
Oh yes, yes.
Now, I all my life when I was a kid, I was brought up respect your elders. Do you remember that? And
yes,
I'd look at my gran and my granddad sometimes and think, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about.
I had to get up on a bus. You know, I was on downstairs on a bus.
That's right,
and an old lady got on and there was no
Absolutely.
seat. You had to get up and let the lady sit down, or the old person.
Absolutely. Or
and if you didn't, everyone used to sneer and growl at you.
No, but you shouldn't have needed sneering. Or if someone's disabled, or they have crutches, or a pregnant lady, or a lady with a pram, you help them get on and off the bus. You don't need telling that. You're very gentlemanly. But elder abuse, my gran, you know, if I said anything that she didn't think was right about anyone over the age of 50, she'd clip me round the ear and go, show your elders respect.
Elders and betters.
And I used to think, well, respect is earned, not demanded. But the thing is, when people get older, they become more physically fragile and often more lonely because children have grown up. We've managed to get rid of all ours.
Yeah.
Temporarily, but it's a strange sensation. You suddenly begin to realise they're not always going to be around, they're going to move out. And then as people get older, yes, there's grandchildren, but it's not the same. So people are more delicate emotionally and physically. And I would never dream of shouting at an older, weaker person any more than I would attacking a child. Now, I've got a question for you, Graham. You were in prison for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
Just in brief, what happened to people who abused kids in prison?
Well, you don't want to know.
Okay. What happened to people in prison who were down for abusing older people, like maybe muggers and stuff like that?
It was frowned upon. I do remember one who was a proper villain.
You need to speak up a bit, we've got no...
This guy was a proper villain. He'd been in and out of jail for years, and my mate knew him. And he was in for mugging a granny, apparently. And he went, he goes, you're in for what? And I'm really ashamed of myself, he goes. And he was a smackhead, you know what I mean? So he had a bit of an excuse, but not really. And everyone sort of didn't have anything to do with him. Not at all. And he's like, oh, look, it's not like that. It was like that. And but it's drugs, that's a different subject.
I don't know, I'd love to know how all of you lot feel. I do not like people who abuse children, elderly people or animals, because all three are vulnerable categories in society, genuinely vulnerable. Now, I know there are lots of vulnerable categories in society. There are disabled people, and there are older people can be rude and nasty, but that's no excuse to attack them or hurt them. But equally, there's a way of dealing with it. If you meet someone who's either disabled or older and they're rude, you talk to them and you say, that's very rude. Or you sue them. That's another example, depending on what's happened. But what you don't do is abuse them. Now, I really want Christopher Boozy to think about this, because at the moment, 2 older people have died within a short space of time of Markle saying bitchy, horrible things to the media. The first was Prince Philip. Now, this was brought back to my memory by another YouTuber who posted a very good community post today.
Well, it was certainly a contributory factor. I
Well,
wouldn't put it down to
her
that,
PR
totally,
people said Philip's not dying. This is just the palace trying to stop Meghan from speaking her truth.
Adding stress doesn't help, does it, for sure?
He was 99 years old, Graham.
Yeah.
You don't think that would add stress?
Of course it would, yeah.
And then he died. Okay, he was 99. The Queen, her line, they lived for ages. I can't remember the exact age of the Queen Mother. I think it was 102. Maybe some of you guys remember specifically.
101, it was something like that, yeah.
101, 102. So we all expected Elizabeth to go for at least another 5 or 6 years. Markle does a bitchy article in The Cut. Was it a week later? A week, I think. Now, I know Her Majesty had an illness, but it is contributory, and she just doesn't seem to give a damn. And Christopher Boozy doesn't seem to give a damn about a 66-year-old lady who is disabled living in Wales alone. Now, I tell you something, Christopher Boozy. If someone ran down the high street saying, I'm a paedophile, I think you can guess what the public response would be. Are you really happy to attack older people, Christopher Boozy, Omid Scobie, and anyone else out there who thinks it's okay? Because I don't think it's okay. I think it is akin to someone getting a job in a care home and leaning on the old people and bullying them and taking their money. I think it's picking on a weaker, more vulnerable person.
Bully.
A bully. It's more than bullying. It's more than that. That's police territory. That's lawsuit territory. We're going a whole other place right now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Wally, by the way, I haven't heard from her today. She did have a little fall a couple of weeks ago, if you guys remember. And I think it's the legs she fell on. I think it's come out in a bruise. And obviously when people are older, they bruise more easily and it heals more slowly. So I have sent her some messages, all of your concern and your advice. Very, very good advice. And I've also said to her, please go and read the comments because she'll see for herself. She may well have done already anyway. But when people are older, they like a nap. And she quite frequently will have a few restful days. She doesn't want to be online. She doesn't want to talk to anybody. So I just leave her alone, leave her to it. And she will be in touch and upload a video when she's ready. But that's how older people are. I like to document as much elder abuse as I can that's going on online, and I've got pretty big files at the moment. Anyway, I think
I have to buy her an extra hard drive. She doesn't miss anything.
Anyway, I think that'll probably do for tonight. I'm sorry it's a bit sombre. We're cooling down now. Our kitty has joined us on the back deck, haven't you, kitty?
Yeah.
Kitty.
And Charlie's been up to the Scottish Parliament today.
Come here, yeah. Come and say hello.
And the Queen's being flown to London tomorrow from Edinburgh.
You're a smoker. Say hello. Look, you have to look at the camera. Oh, she's not interested.
Kitty!
Kitty, kitty, look. Kitty, look. Kitty.
No.
No. I've disturbed her from her cushion. I know.
Good night, and may your God go with you.